Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sophis Productions. We're here with a brand new podcast. And today with us, we have Anila Shehzad. Great guest with us. She's a geopolitical analyst, a writer, and she's usually here at our studio giving us wonderful information about the current situation and what is happening in the world. So we know that Donald Trump won the election and he's going to be inaugurated in the next few days. So we have Anila Shehzad with us to break down what's going to happen with Donald Trump and what's going to happen in a few days. And most importantly, how Donald Trump affects the whole world. Is the political scenario going to be changed? Are we going to see a new administration with some new ideas? Or is it going to be the same? We usually saw that Obama made a few promises, Biden made a few promises, but they never deliver their promises. And as soon as they get into the seat, then they repeat the mistakes that they were making again. So basically, it might be easier to say some things, but when you're actually at the spot, it gets a little difficult. So can you give us a brief introduction, and can you answer our question as well?
Yeah, it's really nice to be here. And what I was going to tell you is that the whole geopolitical chessboard is really changing very, very fast. And we've seen what happened in Syria. The Arab region is far from being stable already. And then Donald Trump got elected in his, even in his election campaign, he was giving these big promises to the people that he's going to come and end the Ukraine war. He's going to come and end the Gaza-Israel war. And he was even asking these leaders to have these wars ended before he sits on his seat, presidential seat, on the 20th of January. But the wars are not coming to an end so soon. There is hope for the Ukraine war because, Trump is arranging a meeting with Putin soon. And if they're going to sit together, there is going to definitely be some resolution. But definitely Trump is going to try to make some space for Zelensky and make some space for Ukraine coming towards the EU or NATO in the coming future maybe. But Putin is not going to give in to such type of a deal. So there is a 50-50 chance that something is going to come out. But it is high time, because the whole global economy has been so much hurt, especially Europe has been hurt so much because of this Ukraine-Russian war. And, there is also, we're going to talk about that how Germany's economy has been affected and how it's coming to that limit where Germany is thinking of quitting NATO or maybe even quitting the European Union. So things are really bad all around the world. And, Trump did make such promises which were looking very nice. People all around the world were thinking that things are going to get better if Trump gets elected. Even here in Pakistan, people were saying if Trump wins, then it's going to be better for Pakistan. But what happened just after he was announced as a winner, that he came out with very big, preposterous type of claims. For instance, he said we can have Canada as our 51st province. He said we can have Greenland as part of the United States. We can have the Panama Canal all for ourselves. So these things are, these things go towards an expansionist mindset. These things, they go towards imperialism. And people all around the world, especially, the allies of the United States, they are getting worried. They are getting threatened and warned that what is going to happen if Trump actually tries to get Greenland, get his hands on Greenland. What is going to happen is Greenland is actually an estate of Denmark. Denmark still has some colonial, powers on Greenland, and Greenland is considered to be a part of Europe. That means Trump is going to be, or the United States of America is going to be occupying a part of Europe, which is something very odd, because the European Union right now is trying to expand its own property area, is trying to get Ukraine into it, and at the same time on one hand, Brexit happened. The whole of Britain got out of the European Union, and now Trump is saying that he's going to take Greenland into the United States. So what is this? What is this whole thing that's happening? Is like the whole political narrative that has been built right after the Second World War, a narrative that espoused democracy, the narrative that espoused the power of the nation state, the narrative that espoused the power, the sovereignty of nation states. Where is all that going to go? So if Trump is going to make such big moves, then the world order is going to be like changed. It's going to have to be written again. So that's, I think, what's going to happen.
The point that you raised there, that Greenland and Canada, Trump's trying to take them over somehow. So if we really understand the dynamics, we understand that they have different cultures, they are different people, and the borders that they are set for like a good amount of years, 70, 80 years. And still we could say, what is Canada without America? They might be economically aligned together. If America puts some sanctions on Canada, can Canada really survive? So that's the point. When America needs a real boost in their economy, and when the dynamics of the world are changing. So if they've been taking over the Muslim nations all these times unsuccessfully, they've attacked Iran, they've attacked Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and all these countries, but they weren't successful. But and no one was sympathizing with the Muslims. But now, when Trump's trying to take over Canada, suddenly all of these people have their moral issues. But still saying, America, if it push comes to shove, America is like the daddy of Canada, and Canada is surviving because of America. If there was no America, there wouldn't be a Greenland or a Canadian country. And plus, it's very important to discuss about Trudeau. Trudeau resigned himself. So this is happening because of the Trump administration coming in and people rejecting the Trudeau regime. Trudeau was close to Obama, some sort of a Obama person, and Trudeau was spending all the money from the government, getting expensive hotels, expensive flights, expensive trips. And Trudeau was a liberal. And all these liberals are losing. Why? That's also a very important factor. Usually we see all around the world, the people who were in power while the coronavirus came, and because of their liberal policies like lockdowns and like the vaccines, although we shouldn't talk about that really in detail, but all those regimes that were supporting all these lockdowns and all these vaccines and all these mandates, they are now getting out of the power system because people are rejecting them. And with Trudeau, it's not just about liberalism. It's also some part of this liberalism also goes towards socialism. The way they're running their economies is not capitalistic activity. They're bailing their own banks, they're bailing their own companies. And that's why it's time that America change the way they're doing things for their own sake. If America keeps on going the route they're going, they might not survive a lot of years. Even Elon Musk is like that. America's heading towards a major bankruptcy and no one's going to care about the dollar anymore. So coming back to the fact, is it like a power move if America takes over Canada some way economically or politically, or is it like a power move? Will America benefit from taking these places over? Obviously, Canada has a little population, but they have massive resources. America could obviously be tapping into these resources, the natural gas, the oil, everything they have. And also Greenland. But On the other hand, Russia is also expanding. So could you, what are the power dynamics going on? Could you briefly discuss?
Well, you're right. Canada is actually a very close ally of the US already. And the way you're saying that US could tap into all the resources that Canada has, that is already possible. That is already going on. And there are other ways to do this type of things. There is both of the countries have their governments, their institutions are there. They can work out things, they can start new projects and all that. But if you just go on and take over the whole country, that's just like occupying the country. That's like imperialism, you know. So if the US wants to do it that way, if that's the way to go ahead, then why can't other countries do the same thing? I mean, why does the US think that, or Elon Musk thinks that he's got these $400 billion, so he's the only one who is in the game, and he's going to go into Europe and start having those governments changed. He's going to go into like Germany, he's going to go into Britain. He's also like, I've heard that he's backing Andrew Tate in Britain, which is like another big, you know, thing that it's hard to imagine that how that would be like possible. But if this is the way you're going to deal with your problems, then other people are also going to look at that way. But what will happen if today Pakistan says that we have been helping Afghanistan all the way in their Russian war, all the way in the NATO war for 30, 40 years, we've been like helping them out, and why can't we go ahead and make Afghanistan a fifth province of ourselves? Why can't we have Kashmir then? So this is not the right way, and if that is what the Trump government is going to do, they are going to call in chaos, and they are going to like ignite new wars with their own friends. What Trump is thinking and what Elon Musk is thinking is money is everything. And they're thinking that we can just buy our way into all these things. That's not going to happen. Every country, every power structure is going to try to defend themselves. They are going to like not care if their people are going hungry. They're not going to care if there is no oil or gas or electricity in their country, but they are going to make sure that their power structure remains. They're going to make sure that their property, their land is not taken away by anyone else.
That's a great point. And what do you think about the wars? When Trump enters into the office, are the wars going to stop? Especially considering the Gaza and Israel war. Let me just put my 2 cents in it. So we see that Netanyahu is interested in taking over a few other places as well. And we see Lebanon, and there's a new government over there. Syria's regime has fallen. And Netanyahu is also becoming an expansionist. They want their greater Israel, and they want to build another canal through Israel. All these things are in their plan. And plus, there were news before the war started. There was news that at the shore of Gaza, there's a lot of oil that has been discovered, and Gaza could be potentially a big port city in the future. And all the routes that they're going to connect and how Israel is going to do trade in the future, everything depends on this Gaza. So considering Netanyahu's ambition, we'll come to Putin's mindset later, but what Netanyahu is doing might be dangerous for USA itself. Recently, we saw Trump retweeting or tweeting interview by Jeffrey Sachs. And Jeffrey Sachs is saying that the war with Iraq and the weapons of mass destruction, they were all fake. Netanyahu actually invented those weapons of mass destruction to wage this war on Iraq. And then they did the same with Libya and Syria and Lebanon and all these countries. So it's not that the Muslims were doing anything wrong, but it was an imagination of Netanyahu, and he wants America to be in war with Iran immediately, urgently. He's doing everything possible. And Jeffrey Sachs also called Netanyahu obsessive about the wars.
Right.
So all these different facts that are coming in, and he also sweared, we won't repeat that swear. So Trump retweeted and also thinks that Netanyahu wants America to fight their wars, and Netanyahu wants to change the whole structure of Middle East.
Exactly.
So with Trump retweeting this whole interview, what do you think the power dynamics are going on? What is going on in Trump's mind, and what's going on with Netanyahu, and what the governments are thinking, and what the people are thinking?
Right. In his last tenure, Trump was so close to Netanyahu that he shifted the U.S. embassy into Jerusalem just to please Netanyahu. And a few days ago, Trump has also warned Hamas to hand over the captives before he comes into his seat. He wants all the captives back, and he has given them this threat that hell is going to break on you if you don't give the captives back before I come on my seat. But he's not pushing Netanyahu for a ceasefire before he sits on his seat. So what is this? It's difficult to understand what's really going on inside Trump's mind. But if you look at this whole scenario of the Middle East and how the things are going, the things have really turned out very good for Israel. Because when this HTS thing happened in Syria, we were thinking, most of the analysts around the world were thinking that maybe there has been a deal between the Arab world, the Persians, the Turks, and the US and Israel, that if Bashar al-Assad is let to go away, the Gaza-Israel war is also going to end. I also thought that this must have been something like that going on under the tables. But what we saw just after Bashar al-Assad went out, we saw Israel bombing out the whole of Syria, all their military bases, all their naval bases, all their air bases, and even all the government institution buildings have all been razed down to the ground, and there is no possibility for Syria to defend itself or for Syria to start a stable civil infrastructure or a government system inside Syria. And what we're going to see for some time to come is that the same militant outfits that have been destabilizing Syria for these so many years, they are going to be there in power. And what are they going to do? They have no experience of running a government or running a country. All they're there to do is make the grounds for the European interest to creep in. They are going to make the grounds for Israeli interest to creep in. And you know what happened just a few days back, that inside Lebanon, the presidency seat has been empty for something like 2 years. And now all of a sudden US-backed Joseph Aoun, who is a Christian, has been elected as a president, and he's there. And what he's going to come and do is he's going to suppress Hezbollah even further. He's going to make sure that Hezbollah, all the powers that Hezbollah has are snatched away from it. And he is going to make sure that Israel is in a safer position. And even Lebanon's vice PM has been in Damascus to meet with this al-Shara, Jilani. Jilani has changed his name into al-Shara. And now he's meeting with all these people. Arabs are also coming in. Iranians are coming in. Europeans are all coming in. And there's going to be a very new game set. And this is actually a dream come true for the West, that Bashar al-Assad is ousted, and we get this whole chunk of land for ourselves, and then Lebanon comes to our side. And Israel is thinking right now that this is the best time it has had since its inception. Syria has been compromised, Lebanon has been compromised. So why not, instead of going towards a ceasefire with Gaza, why not go for an expansion? Why not go for a greater Israel? That's what Netanyahu is thinking, and Netanyahu is that kind of a person, that fanatic, extremist kind of thinker, that he does not want to stop anywhere. I mean, after this whole genocide thing, after the whole United Nations has been condemning Israel for this genocide, and the International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for Netanyahu and his defense minister. What they are saying is, in fact, what happened a few days ago, the first parliament sat down after Trump's election, and the first bill they passed was this, that we are going to put sanctions on all those people of the International Criminal Court who have been part of that, warrant, issuing warrant to Netanyahu. They said that ICC is a kangaroo court, and we're going to put sanctions on all those people involved in this. So that's what's happening. Netanyahu is getting stronger and stronger, and Gaza is getting weaker and weaker. And especially, if you're going to ask me, I'm going to tell you about that five-finger policy or scheme that they're putting inside Gaza, and how they're going to totally complete their genocide, totally complete their apartheid upon these people.
Yes, you should talk about the five-finger theory, yeah. And plus, there might be two aspects to what you're saying. Is Netanyahu really that strong? Netanyahu is losing a lot of support from his people. He hasn't defeated Hamas, but it seems the opposite way. It seems that Hamas is winning. It seems that his forces have been fighting this war, and they're tired because there are reports that the forces don't take a bath for a few days or a few weeks. That's how difficult the thing is, and they have to be on constant lookout. They have flattened the whole of Gaza, but Hamas is still there. They resurface anytime they want, and they come up with their new forces. The more people they kill, their family members get motivated to fight in the war again. So a few days ago, there was a news that all these thousands of new fighters that are now in Gaza, and they weren't the fighters that were at the start of the war, but they're now there to fight with Israel, and there's no end to it. Israel can't win this war, they know. And Netanyahu has devastated his economy. Businesses have left. There's an incredible amount of percentage how many businesses have just closed their shop. The economy is going down the drain. Their economy used to be very vibrant, but their economy has just crashed beyond any repair. And plus, there have been massive demonstrations against Netanyahu's regime in Israel for the past so many years now. Netanyahu has been in and out of power for the last, I don't know, this has been going on. He becomes the president, then the parliaments get dissolved, then he becomes the president, then the parliament gets dissolved. So Netanyahu might be on his last leg as well. Sometimes when a person wants to commit suicide, you don't tell him to jump off the roof. You tell him to come down, say the right things. That's what Trump might be doing. That Netanyahu wants to go for his end, but Trump is trying to calm the situation down because this is a mad person. Exactly. So we can't just put a person like Netanyahu towards the wall and give him no space to exit. He needs some exit strategy, and with all these sanctions, people say that Netanyahu is going to go straight to jail from the office. That's how bad the prospects are. And if he doesn't go to jail, then worse things could happen. He could get killed or humiliated or a lot of things. So taking all this into consideration, and recently I wanted to talk about another thing as well that is very important, the wildfires in America and Los Angeles. We're very worried about those people that have been affected by all those wildfires. And there has been, I don't know, thousands of acres of land that has been burned down. And it's like the biggest calamity that US has, the biggest natural disaster that US has faced. So it's like $150 billion. And they have lost a lot of prime real estate and a lot of businesses. And LA was the home of Hollywood and all the stars and all the studios. We saw the Hollywood sign burning down. We see a lot of big studios burning down to the ground, and the fire is not stopping. And it's actually getting worse because the winds are increasing, and there's like tornado firestorms going on over there, and people are really devastated. And we hope that all of those people that are in that area, the LA area, are safe and secure and no one dies. There have been reports of multiple deaths, 15 or 20 so far. So with all this going on, Netanyahu being on the back end, and some people might be also sympathizing for this situation that Netanyahu is in, because he's lost everything. He's lost the support of his own people, and then Trump and USA going through all this natural disasters. Do you really think that this war could go on, or America would really support Netanyahu a lot longer when they got such a big calamity going on in their own house?
Yes, all those things that you were saying, that was exactly the picture we were looking at just before this Syria thing happened. But since the Syrian whole game that you saw, the ouster of Bashar al-Assad, and then this political change in Lebanon, and after that we've come through some reports about this five-finger policy that I was just mentioning. And that's very interesting, because in this five-finger policy, what Israel is now going to do is it's going to divide the little thin Gaza Strip into 5 portions, and each portion is going to be guarded by a corridor, which will be totally controlled by the Israeli forces, and there's going to be buffer zones around both sides of those corridors, and then the extreme northern part is going to be totally evacuated. All the Gazans are going to be thrown into these other sections, and that first northern part is going to be totally made a Israeli settlement. And the thing is that because Hezbollah has put their weapons down, because the Iranian-backed militias are no more inside Syria, they are they have just left the battleground. Yes, the Yemenis are still doing their bit. They are throwing missiles on Israel, but those are definitely not enough. Now, what is practically happening is that Gaza and the Hamas have been left alone by the world, left alone by the Arab world, left alone even by the Iranians. They're like, all of them is like they've gone into some kind of a hopelessness. So if Israel is going to do that, then it's going to be a complete apartheid of the people of Gaza. They're already malnutritioned, they're already short of medicine, all of their houses have been razed to the ground. And in the back days, what they used to do, they were bringing in bricks and cement and this construction material through those deep tunnels that connected with the Sinai desert of Egypt. And now what they're going to, if Israel is going to have the corridor on the Philadelphia corridor side, and then there's going to be 3-4 more corridors that Israel is going to be controlling, then how is even a single brick going to come inside? And how is Gaza going to be reconstructed? And how are those people going to get better food or better medicine now, when Israel's checkposts and Israel's apartheid wall are going to be all crisscrossing between this Gaza? Now, this is such a dreadful picture, and it is showing that how evil is winning, like how the extremist and this genocidal thinking of Netanyahu is actually winning. I mean, Netanyahu, you're right, People hate him is inside Israel also. He has no backing, no political grounds, but he's not going to leave this battle. He wants a legacy. He wants to be that person whose name is written on the history books, that he is the one who made this greater Israel. I don't know what belief system or what Zionism is fed into his mind or fed into all those parties that are in power right now in Israel, but that is the way they're thinking. Of course, we do believe that they are not going to get successful. We do believe that the Arabs are going to have to step in. We do believe that Iran is going to enter again. And we do believe that Iran is going to make a re-entry. And there is also, some speculations that because Israel is so much full of hubris right now, and this power thing that whatever they want, they can get, maybe they are thinking of taking over the Suez Canal. They are thinking of invading the Suez Canal. And if they do something like that, that means a war with Egypt. That means Israel is going to have another war, and it is going to be with Egypt. And now, if that type of a war is just started, what is how secure are the Arab states going to think they are? Because this war is not retreating in any ways, it is expanding. They've all gone through this long era of the Arab Spring that destroyed Iraq, it destroyed Syria, it destroyed Libya, and all these Arab countries. They were affected by the Arab Spring, and that the dark shadows of the Arab Spring are still working in the Middle East region. Now, if Israel is so much emboldened because of all this Syria thing and this Lebanon thing, then who is there to stop them? If you couldn't stop Israel from this Gaza, then how are you going to stop Israel from anything else? So that's the thing.
That's a very interesting point that you raised. So coming to the next question, I wanted to take your opinion on the German situation that is happening. We hear that Germany might be leaving NATO, and the European Union thing is also in a jeopardy. Plus, we see that the same thing that happened in Pakistan, the no confidence movement that happened with Imran Khan, and everyone was making a joke while Imran Khan was telling everybody that this is an American-backed no confidence vote, and the US and their allies actually bought politicians to oust Imran Khan. And that's such a big scandal that no one actually believed. But recently, one of my friends is in Germany was telling me that the exact same thing happened in Germany, and their president was no confidence voted out of their government. So that's a very interesting dynamic that could happen to a poor country like Pakistan, but could also happen to an industrial giant like Germany.
Exactly.
And now we see the new ADF party.
The Christian Democratic Party is at the top, and AFD is
yes. Backed by Elon Musk. So we're seeing all these things happening. And also talking about the Russia-Ukraine war. Because of that war, and because of the Nord Stream 1 and the Nord Stream 2, and how the US blew up those Nord Stream pipelines, Germany doesn't have that cheap gas that they used to have. On the basis of that cheap energy, they became industrial giants. Now they don't have that edge anymore. Plus, Germany used to be like the top innovator of the Industrial Revolution. Now we have to also consider that technology is advancing at a very rapid pace, and it's not just the Industrial Revolution that we're talking about now. There's AI revolution. There's a lot of IT sector is booming. The media sector is booming. There's a lot of things that are going on that are new, that are not just industry. Now, Germany made a car that could go 400 kilometers, and that is before World War II. So there's this Mercedes car, and there's actually this footage that the Mercedes car, which looks very futuristic, some car that could be on the roads today, is going like 400 kilometers, and it has like 4,000 horsepower or 2,000 horsepower, some ridiculous number. So that is in the 1930s, and now when we see 2025, we see that German manufacturers, even the BMWs, the Audis, they can't make an electric car as good as the Chinese. And in the tech industry, we see that there's only 2-3 companies like SAP or some other company. All of the rest companies that are IT based are not in Germany. And Germany might be like a thing of the past. Their economy is in a downward spiral. For a past couple of years, I guess, is going down. People are predicting a very grave future for Germany. And considering that Germany was the powerhouse of Europe, and Germany used to fund the NATO and the European Union, especially after UK left, Germany is the main thing. So Germany might be funding and would be in a surplus in the European Union, while the little ones are only raking the benefits and not giving any money to the European Union. So if push comes to shove and Germany leaves European Union, then is there a European Union left? And what happens with NATO? Because there's some rumors going on that they're not giving enough money towards NATO and they're taking more forces towards them. And all these bases, even when Trump was elected the last time, he said that he was going to close all the American bases in Germany. Why are they protecting the Germans while the Germans are cozying up with the Russians and taking their energy? So all these power dynamics are now taking into play. And as soon as Trump comes, what do you see the future for Germany?
Well, already, you are saying that maybe the US was behind the no confidence vote of Olaf Scholz, and he was ousted. But these new parties that are coming up, they are the ones who are saying that we don't want to be a part of NATO anymore. Because, Trump his people have announced that they want a 5% participation from all these NATO countries, and these new parties, their heads have said that we don't want to give all that money. We don't need NATO. We were talking about 3.5%, and we were already not ready to give that even. But now if a Trump administration or the NATO head wants 5%, we are not ready for that, and it's better for us to leave. And they've also even announced in Germany that they are increasing their own defense forces. They've put up a new division in the country, and they've increased their armed forces. So that is what Germany has, because Germany was the power hub of Europe. Almost 45% of Europe's growth was coming out of Germany just a few years ago, just before the Ukraine war. And at the time, when Angela Merkel was there, she was she was like extending relations with China also. And they were talking about trade, and a lot of trade was going on between China and Germany. And these people, the sanctions they put, the US and this EU thing, they wanted to conserve the European Union in a way that China should be cut away from them. And that thing really, really hurt Germany, because Germany was really doing a lot of business with China, and they were going to set up industries with each other's cooperation also. But that thing was made to stop, and then came the Ukraine war, and there was this shut-off of this gas and oil supply. And, the household bills, they also got skyrocketed. And one by one, industries started closing their doors. And what happened when this Ukraine war, Russia war was just beginning? The US came in and they blew off that Nord Stream pipeline. What would the people of Germany be thinking? That this pipeline was coming for us. It was ours. and they've just come and blown it off. So this whole new way, the way the European Union is going, and you were right when you said that German, being the one of the richest people of the European Union, they have to pay for all those bailouts that have to be given to the poorer countries. So Germany is thinking that why do I have to sail with these people? Why do I have to paddle with these and like a sinking boat actually? European Union is a sinking boat, is going to sink because many of its partner countries have been bailed out. And they don't have economic growth in them. So there is a very strong probability that Germany leaves NATO, that Germany leaves the European Union, and if that happens, there is then a big possibility that Germany is going to ally with Russia. And if that happens, the whole dynamics of the geopolitics is going to be turned.
If the Ukrainians lose the war, which they've already lost, and there's only a matter of days or a matter of months that Zelensky is defeated, then what's the point of Germany not siding with Russia and not taking that gas? Russia is already making twice the money. They're selling the gas for a premium. So what's the point? The Russian economy is actually thriving while the Germans are suffering and the Ukrainians have already lost. So it's a lose-lose situation for Germans. That could be a point, a very well-noted point. And I'd like to add that the USA might be going towards a downward spiral economically, but Europe is already in that spiral. We see news about the UK economy, the London economy, and they're very devastating news about. Recently, a day or two ago or 3 days ago, I was reading all these articles about how the UK stock market collapsed and they're about to get even far worse than what they are doing right now. And Germany also going towards a downward spiral. So the whole European system and the whole American system could fall, but the first domino would be the European Union and the NATO and all these fancy things that they have been doing, especially with the population implosion, they say. First, they told everybody this great theory that there was too many people in the world. And as soon as people started getting good jobs and having a good lifestyle, they stopped being so focused on their families and their kids, and especially these Europeans who don't even marry and they live a single life most of their lives. And even if there are a lot of divorced parents, single parent families, and because of this, their population has decreased to such devastating levels that they're more older people than they're younger people. And in order to support the welfare, all of these states are mostly welfare. So support these older generation, they need younger people. And now they're trying to also get more Indians and Pakistanis and Bengalis and Africans into their country. But it's no use when people might be from a third world country. Well, these terms are also very second world time era terms, that this is a second world country or this is a third world country. Usually these days we call it developing and developed countries. So there might be income disparity between an African state or a German city, and people might be earning more in Germany, but the Germans themselves that have been living in Germany know how their lifestyle is getting degraded, how the energy bills are just skyrocketing. For even for a single person, the cost of gas might be thousands of dollars a year. That's how grave the situation is. So I think that Europe is going to fall even before the United States, and they really need to fix what's
Exactly.
wrong with them.
Exactly.
Hmm.
You're exactly right that the European Union was a fancy idea, and it was an expensive idea. What it did was it like bounded so many like developing countries of the southern belt of Europe with these big economies. And what happened, instead of those states getting developed or growth or getting growth, what happened was they just got that easy money or easy loans from the EU, and they kept getting into that debit trap, and because of which they all had to find those bailouts and all that. So there was no real growth inside the European Union. The real growth could have come from China. China's Belt and Road was so lucrative, so vast, and it was so much filled of possibilities that if Germany was allowed to bring that Belt and Road projects inside Germany, inside Europe, those projects would have gone all the way right to the UK even. It was such a broad scheme that they have put up, and China had all that money and the funds that could support all those projects also. But what they did, they said no, European Union has to remain very strong, and we have to be protectionist, and they isolated themselves from this possibility of the Belt and Road, and that isolation is what hit Germany's industry so bad. And now, not just Germany, other countries also inside Europe are thinking, why not sit with China? Why not sit with Russia? Because Russia is also opened. They've opened this big BRICS platform, which is so popular now that so many countries are asking for membership, and is going to be the largest economic platform of the world in just a few years. And Russia has also opened up another platform by the name of SPIEF, and they're also trying to gather their friends and their allies, including China, in that platform also. That's also going to be an economic platform. And all these countries are saying that look how those people are reaping the benefits of whatever they have, and they are ready to give those benefits to us also, and we are just closing our doors, and we are just the great European Union type thing. This thing is what has taken them down, actually.
That's great. That's great. That was a very wonderful information and a very good opinion on all the geopolitical events that are happening. It was such a wonderful time having you at our studios, and it was a very wonderful podcast. We had a lot of informative, knowledgeable things that we discussed about today. And do you want to close the podcast with some good remarks, and do you want to say something to our audience as well?
So it's let's hope that there's a change in the world, and a change for good, a change for the welfare of humanity, which is being crushed because of this big power play between the big powers, and the thing about the power of the people, the democracy, all those things have been totally suppressed. And now this big power plays opened up, and everybody can see what's happening. And people like us who are not aware of all those things, we all know because of social media and all that these are the games that have been played upon humanity. And let's hope that we get some leaders, some leadership that can change it for the better.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful time.
Yes, thanks for having me.